the Rules Girl, and this is Umami Friends, a card collecting and engine building game for 2 to 4 players. In Umami Friends, players will collect cards and try to complete recipes to gain abilities and earn umami points. The goal of the game is to win, and you win by earning the most umami points. Each turn in Umami Friends consists of a pre-action, where players place all the sweets in their hand on the board, the action, where players complete one of 4 possible actions, and the post-action, where players draw cards up or discard cards down to their max refresh hand size. During the pre-action, players must place all sweet cards from their hand onto the board. These can be used later in the action phase. During the action phase, players have 4 options. Players can spend their action to buy a recipe, discarding the necessary ingredients and their recipes according to the recipe cost. Recipes require different ingredients to be bought. Some recipes require a plain type. Any type of the corresponding power level may be used to count a plain cost. A recipe that's worth a rainbow type may be used to count for any type cost. Players must read the ability description out loud, then place the recipe on their board. The ability occurs immediately when bought. If the bottom right corner of the recipe has an energy icon, the player takes an additional action immediately. If the player's chosen character has an active ability, they may also use this ability by paying the casting cost by discarding the required ingredients from their hand. Players can also spend their action to draw 3 ingredients from the ingredient deck. Or they can place an ingredient from their hand onto their board face up. Ingredients on the board do not count towards a player's hand size limit, called their max refresh size. Players may have any number of ingredients on their board. Additionally, players may spend 3 sweet cards to gain another action on their turn after they have used their actions. This action can be any of the 4 options listed above. Players end their turn with the post action. Players must draw or discard cards down to their max refresh hand size. At the start of the game, your max refresh hand size is 5 cards. This can change during play. The end game is triggered when any player collects 30 or more umami points. When that happens, each other player has one final turn to try and beat that person's score. Whoever has the most umami points wins. Ready to play? First, determine the teams. Use this chart to split into teams depending on the number of players. Next, separate the 4 decks of cards: the common recipes, the rare recipes, ingredients, and the character cards. The common recipes are stacked face up, and each pile should have all copies of that common recipe. Shuffle the rare recipes deck. Then place a total of 10 rare recipes face up below the common recipes. Shuffle the ingredient deck, then deal 5 ingredient cards to each player face down. Place the remaining ingredient cards in a face-down draw pile. Players then take turns choosing their character. Characters have powerful abilities that shape the way the game is played. Characters also start with a recipe noted on their character card. Players place both the character and their starting recipe face up in front of them. Leave space nearby to place ingredients and recipes. This area is called their board. Each player may choose to discard 1 rare recipe from the rare recipe menu. Players may opt to skip this step. Refill the rare recipe store with the top card from the rare recipe deck after each player has discarded a recipe. You're now ready to play. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking it and subscribing to The Rules Girl for more rules videos.